Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, moving on to Ep9 news this week. Forbes.
Hey!
Forbes has put out an article by a gentleman named, if I can get there real
Forb.
quick. I can't remember this.
It was one of the Forbes
chap's
brothers,
name.
one of the several Forbes.
This is an article by Scott Mendelson. Now, Scott Mendelson.
Oh, yeah.
I don't. If you,
Big name.
I read his stuff.
Good old Scooty Men's.
I read a few things and I've read some stuff by him. Sometimes I think of him as kind of a shill for
What?
How
dare you, sir?
But I'll tell you what. Well, I'm going to read the title of this article, and maybe he's getting a little cred back. So the title of this article is Box Office. Star Wars 9 must prove that The Last Jedi didn't ruin Star Wars.
It's parentheses, fingers crossed, and parentheses.
So he kind of dives into, this article, he kind of dives into box office numbers a little bit and talks about how, the other trilogies did, how the first compared to the second compared to the third on both trilogies, and even talked about other trilogies like The Matrix and things like that. And kind of, basically makes his point. I hate the fact that that's an apt comparison. He basically makes his point that, using, these other comparisons, whatnot, that if Ep9 comes in under $1 billion, the worldwide box office, which it very well could, that, maybe some of the hatred for The Last Jedi, some of that actually affected the box office. He thinks, though, that if it's at levels, more like Last Jedi or above, that kind of disproves that a little bit. I'm going to tell you right now, it's all going to come down to one moment. And I mean this, okay? Now, they might put out a teaser that's just like a TIE fighter flying through a canyon like they did with Rogue One, right? So that, notwithstanding, like an actual theatrical teaser that actually teases the movie proper, right, will have to strike a chord. It will have to hit a note, because the layperson, I'm telling you right now, the average layperson is not going to go to the theater to see Ep9 unless there is a new hook. And it's not because they hated The Last Jedi. It's because they saw The Last Jedi and they went, yeah. And then they didn't bother to go see Solo because they're like, I've had enough for a while. Ep9, to bring them back in, is going to need to hit the reset button on literally one of those stomach drop levels. There's going to need to be something in that teaser, not just your standard run of the mill, hey, it's Star Wars, like they like to do. It's going to have to create Star a buzz. Wars. I think what you're saying, there's going to have to be a Shyamalanian twist, but there's going to in the teaser. And there's going to have to be a buzz created that doesn't just permeate through the fan community. Exactly. It's going to have to permeate out into the general masses. There's going to have to be something massive. One single massive beat. And I don't mean an audio cue after it fades to black. I mean right smack dab in the middle.
I got it.
Boom.
I know what it is.
What is it?
It's going to be dead silent. Mm-hmm. And then you're just going to hear the snap hiss, green lightsaber, Luke, black screen.
No, this is what. Here's my prediction. Actually, I don't believe this is going to happen. ... I don't believe this is going to happen. And as cliche as this is on the level of what I'm talking. An example of what I'm talking about. Uh-huh. You see some shots of things happening, things moving around, your typical teaser stuff that doesn't tell you anything, and you hear Rey go, they were nothing, they abandoned me. And then you hear Luke's voice, maybe wispy and ghosty, saying, no, I am your father.
No.
What? That'll never happen.
And then
it'll never happen.
And Vaughn come flying.
But what I'm saying is,
Whoa! There.
What I'm saying is,
it's
cliche.
You see a blue guy in the background.
It'll never happen.
Lightsaber and
and then Mara Jade comes flying across.
It's like, Mara Jade.
That's the kind of
Mace
note.
Windu's not dead.
That's the kind of note that the average movie-going fan, who's not like Star Wars hardcore, but just an average movie fan, that's the kind of note that will mean something to them. It's got to be that plain and that boom right out.
And then he says, from a certain point of view.
See, no,
that example, I do not believe in a second, in a heartbeat, will ever happen.
No, I like mine better. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I kind of.
That's right. That's what we say.
Who's we?
Oh, jeez.
Garrick and Jim Carrey.
Right.
Does Garrick paint?
I feel you though, man, because I think you're dead on though. When you say,
I paint as well as Jim Carrey does.
He's not bad.
I'm not bad. Are you saying I'm bad? Is that what you're saying?
he's a master of MS Paint. Come on.
You haven't seen my weight.
We're talking about MS Paint. I have seen that, and he is a master.
Yeah.
He's in a class of his own.
Let's get the leprechauns out.
Oh,
That's my favorite subject matter.
MS Paint. There you go.
it's because you look like one.
Yar.
Oh,
So you were saying, Mike?
I was saying I feel you because I think you're dead on. I mean, it's one thing. I mean, us being in the fan community and everybody,
Yeah.
fighting about Last Jedi.
Blah,
Was
blah,
it good?
blah.
Was it not? Blah,
It's
blah,
all
blah.
noise in the
But-
grand global scheme.
But yes, but the average everyday, and I'll tell you what, I mean, because I've got plenty of those in my family, just the average everyday fan.
Of
and
course,
I just remember
most people do.
when you said that, it jogged a memory I had of a conversation I had with my brother-in-law, because
How many decades ago was it?
He can't remember he had tequila.
It was Last
All the
Jedi.
decades.
He's got 3 boys. He took the boys to Last Jedi, and we saw each other at a party or something. And he's like, "Hey, have you seen the new Star Wars movie?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Yeah."
Yep. That's most of the
It was-
people that
it
I've
was
gotten that
okay.
aren't diehards, like
Yeah,
people
right.
who don't listen to our show or anything
Right.
like that,
Right.
are just kind of like, yeah,
It was yeah.
but not anything that would drag them back out to the theater again.
Yes,
And
right.
that's what there needs to be something that the average like it's a big enough deal within Star Wars
Right.
that the average person grapples with it and goes, "Ooh,
Yeah.
I want to know more about that."
See, and that's the hard part. I feel like that JJ's got on him right now because, I mean, to me, The Last Jedi. I think I've said this before. If the Last Jedi almost felt like a rap to me. Like, okay, this is the end. I was like, hey, So
I know Last Jedi defenders that will admit that right off the bat.
Yeah,
They'll say, "I don't know where it's supposed to go."
everybody. I think both sides of the aisle are pretty much like, I don't know what's 9 going to be. I don't know. Who knows?
I don't even know what to ask for.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I mean, they've got the work cut out for them. So I don't know how you create, how you generate buzz, on
That's
what
how
we were given.
That's
So-
how I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Don't save it as a surprise. Hit everybody 6 months, 7 months in advance with a surprise that gets the rumble growing again.
Title.
Don't worry about it dying out. The fans will keep it going. The hardcore fans will keep the rumble moving.
Right.
The
But
title's going to be Star Wars 420.
Damn, son.
Oh, and Snoop Dogg's going to be there?
Yeah, he's going to be having a
He's gonna
purple
be-
lightsaber.
You have a lightsaber. Hey, what? That's
Willie
racist.
Nelson's going to be doing the
Why is
sound.
that racist?
Will you sue him because he's a black guy? He's gonna have a purple.
No, I think he would look awesome with a purple lightsaber.
Why wouldn't it
Yeah.
be green though? Because he's all into weed and stuff.
oh,
All
The
right,
important thing is he's fighting Martha Stewart at the time.
That
there you
that
go.
is the most important thing.
Yeah.
And she's got a black lightsaber.
Oh no.
All
a
right,
dark
so
saber.
let me-
No, the black
nobody
light
wants to see that.
lightsaber. It goes
wants to
along
see
with
that.
the weed lightsaber.
I got you. I see
And-
what you're doing.
And they're fighting in front of a statue of Bob Marley made out of felt.
Yep.
This is getting better and better.
Yep.
Well,
right,
start a
then
Kickstarter
Kit Fisto
to make
has to
this
be
movie.
there.
let me
Why?
let,
Those are the dreads,
no, we
man.
got Bob Marley.
me throw this question out for everybody. Then, so
Are you being
wanna
serious
talk
again?
about-
I'm trying to be serious.
Okay.
Oh,
Through the tequila.
Mike,
The tequila was wonderful.
Yeah, well, I'm doing rum right now.
go-
Never,
Jeez,
I've
they
never had
refilled.
good
Look at you.
tequila.
I know you can have some.
You
Go
haven't
ahead.
noticed he's already slurring his
ahead.
words, but like in the drunk Mike way, not the normal Mike way.
Let me just put it out there for you.
The thing about The Last Jedi.
All right, so
I can't feel my mouth.
okay, so Force Awakens made $2 billion worldwide, and Last Jedi made $1.3 billion worldwide.
I don't know. I'm smiling because they're laughing. Don't
Okay.
look at me.
So where does F9 come in? I mean, does it hit
9.
anywhere close to Force Awakens, which seems like a tall task? Does it get anywhere close to Last Jedi, or does it fall under $1 billion?
Hey man, Ep 3 made less than Ep 2 made less than Ep 1. So I think that even without all the arguments of the quality or the Last Jedi effect, even with that off the
Actually,
table,
I think Ep 3 made more than Ep 2.
did it?
I believe.
I'm
pretty
fact
sure.
check that crap.
Yeah, fact check it, but
Jamie, put it on screen. Fact.
I'm pretty
Fact
sure.
check it.
Okay.
But
Snopes it.
But I mean, I feel like if this movie does under $1 billion, actually, I feel like if it does anything under Last Jedi, I think Disney's got some, like they need to have they got to have a come to Jesus moment.
For what? For Ep 10?
Dude, they're not stopping the franchise.
This isn't the end of Star Wars.
This is not the end of Star Wars. You're right. I mean,
They got like 7,000 movies in the works.
You're right.
Right.
You're right. It eked it out domestically, and it did quite a bit better on globally. The Revenge of the Sith did better than Attack of the Clones.
So,
whoa.
And I don't know that that's the case. I don't know what that's the case with the OT, but in terms of,
It's got to adjust for inflation.
I think it's got to at least hit a.
I'm pretty sure Porkins guy explained this all out.
I'm pretty sure he did too. Too bad
Yeah,
he's
go
not,
back
he
and
hasn't
listen to
showed up yet.
episode. What episode was that, Mike?
Episode 27. I don't know.
There you
Nailed
go.
it.
Nailed it. First
Nailed
try.
If it's not on that one, just keep listening.
I don't know. I mean, any thoughts from you guys on this? I mean, what if they do under $1 billion? What does that tell you? If where do you think it's going to land, Howie? I mean, any ideas? Any
3.
thoughts? You think it'll
$3.
No, actually,
About
No,
350.
realistically,
man, I don't know.
does it come in between Last Jedi and I mean, does it generate that hype?
I don't.
Or you just
I honestly don't. That's the whole thing about this movie is you could just say Episode 9. I don't know. To anything, any question that you
agree.
ask about Episode 9,
I agree.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. The original trilogy, I'm going to talk domestic gross right now.
Yeah.
Empire Strikes Back was 2/3 of Star Wars, and Return of the Jedi was right in the middle of the two.
There you go.
Huh.
There you go.
That does not include re-releases, but they would only skew it a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
Is that adjusting for inflation?
No, it is not, but it would still be that way. Because that's how math works.
At the same ratio,
I don't
even?
know.
Yes, as a matter
Did
of
you
fact.
do the math?
Wow.
I mean, okay, so if that all holds true, then you would have to expect that it's got to do
Better than The Last Jedi?
That's the way I feel like
Better
it
than
should.
Solo,
but
that's for
what's transpired up to this point, you're just like,
It seems like a tall order because there was also more time between these movies.
But see, I mean,
I'm thinking they're looking to overhaul anyway. I'm thinking they're going through the motions on this. It's the end of an arc. It's going to wrap it up, and let's start fresh in the morning, boys.
I don't disagree with you, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, seriously, I mean, no, I'm not.
He looks so sad.
I'm laughing at you.
Yeah.
No,
Like,
seriously.
what do you think it's going to make? Hey, I think it's going to make. They're starting over.
Yep.
No, wait a minute. I mean,
I
not,
stand by it.
Rebuilding here, guys.
I
It's
stand
rebuilding
by
here.
it.
Commit.
It's
You
all
got to
good.
commit.
not to the extent that it's like, we just admit failure and these just never mind. We didn't really make these movies. I mean, it's not that. I mean, these movies are canon and all that stuff, but I mean, well, they've already kind of done that, right? I mean, they pumped the brakes back in August when Iger got out there and was talking about, well, we're gonna slow things down a little bit, and we're only really working on the Game of Thrones guys movies and Mandalorian and I mean, so they've already kind of done that. They've already kind of done this course correction thing. So
is the budget bigger for this film?
I haven't heard anything about budget.
Well,
on
I know.
this yet.
I know. I'm just
JJ's
speculation.
involved, so I'm going to go with yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. After the fiasco that was Solo, and actually the problems that they had with Rogue One, I think that's one of the things that they're going to be really looking at is reining in these budgets.
Mm-hmm.
And
I like both of those the
reining in.
best. That's what sucks.
Yeah.
Out of all the new stuff.
I know. I like the two spinoffs better.
Yeah, I do.
I do too.
Yeah. Especially Rogue
actually,
One.
by far.
Hands down.
I know Mike hates Rogue One, but I loved it.
I effing love Rogue One, dude.
All right, Mike, we get it. God, it's so negative.
Stop hating on Rogue One.
He hated the soundtrack. He hated everything.
Yeah,
Damn it.
He called Felicity Jones ugly.
he did.
And I was just like, I don't see how
dare
that's
you.
relevant or accurate,
She's an
Mike.
American British treasure.
An American British treasure.
Yeah.
She's a
she's
treasure,
British.
that's for sure.
She's a colonial treasure.
I
Sort
think
of.
she's also married or engaged to be married now. So
I still don't see how that's relevant.
it's
It's
You're right,
called
you know,
internet.
You could interpret.
Right.
You could interpret to me two different ways. By the way, I could be totally like heroic And like Mike, I don't even see that.
No, we know you're not.
And then the
We know
other
you're
side of
not.
it's going, I don't care if she got a ring on her finger. You don't know me. See, you
I
go
got the internet.
Ambiguity. That's how you survive the internet, gentlemen.
Yeah. Hey, in more Ep9 news, Todd Fisher this week
Yes,
has kind of chimed in about his sister, Carrie Fisher.
sure did.
He apparently has been shown some of the footage that's going to be included in the movie.
Yes, he do.
Lucky.
And
And he pooped his pants. He cried. He cried.
all
Tears
of
cry
the
poop.
all of the above.
I hate
Cheers
cry
for poop.
pooping. Cry pooping
Poop
is the
for,
worst.
poop for
Now you
tears.
get pink
Tears
eye.
for poop.
That's when you cry out your butt.
Yep.
That's how I get salty poops.
Conjunctivitis.
Oh, guy.
Don't get poop in your eye, kids.
Hep A.
Anyway,
E. coli.
Todd Fisher is pleased. Is the word that was used.
Oh, that's a terrible
He didn't
word.
come out swinging,
That's a
huh?
terrible word. I
did
hate
not-
that word.
Pleased.
That sounds like
pleased.
something. Oh,
Something
good job,
Garrick's
guys.
mom does. Oh.
I'm going to placate you.
I'm pleased.
It's hard to say why he's pleased, but one of the things that he did mention is that stop it. Stop it. So I have some booze once
Mike's
in a
going to be
while.
asleep in the next episode. Just
This is
FYI.
tequila.
It's not that bad.
This is why I don't
I
like
just
to do
talk-
bits in the
Hey,
second episode.
I talk that way
Only
naturally.
drunks say
Come
it's
on.
not that bad.
That's right.
No,
That's
he
the
he
first
did
step.
say that the footage. There's going to be more footage of Leia than you expect.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was interesting to me.
Really?
Well, I wasn't expecting much, so
Yeah. Well, I mean, they
Say
didn't,
much.
they haven't killed her yet in the movie.
No, they haven't.
Nope, that great send off they gave her didn't do anything to send her off.
Right.
I'm sorry. I'm still weirded out by this. I still really feel like that they should have put the brakes on that and switched Hamill and Carrie Fisher once that happened.
That would have
would
been
have
weird.
been- it
to
would have been a
see.
big change.
Yeah, I
It
don't
would
want
have
to
been a big
see.
change.
It would have been huge, and I know Ryan Johnson didn't want to do it. But
I mean,
guess
that's
what?
literally calling Ron Howard huge.
You've got to. To me, you got to serve the story. So JJ, I don't want to be JJ in this situation.
Directors don't want to
I'd
serve
be
the
okay
story
being
anymore.
JJ in this situation because, man, what a paycheck.
I don't see how having Luke.
Doesn't
Yeah.
matter how bad you do.
No.
All the
guess.
money.
Screw that.
monies.
I'll walk on the Brooklyn Bridge with my son and then just go off into the sunset with all my money.
There you go.
Yep.
I don't understand Mike's
soon.
analogy though. I don't see what having Luke Peter Pan across vacant void of space would help the movie.
I'm what?
What?
He did that in a book.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. He did.
He was the space pirates that built the Jedi
Hang on,
trap.
let me catch him up.
No. Leave him where he is. He's fine.
Okay.
I got it.
He likes to be right there.
He lost us.
I always listen to the episode after
Oh, do you?
and catch all the stuff that I miss while
Yeah.
I'm.
He's slightly less drunk the second time.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
And don't tell me you've only had two.
This is my second shot.
Yeah.
Second shot.
How much does a double shot count as?
Yeah. Well, 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that how math works?
Yeah.
Yep.
Math.
I've been doing it
It's
wrong
the
this whole
math.
It's a 2-to-1 ratio.
If I put this in the 32-ounce cup, it's only one drink.
Right. Still counts as one. True, it's just one.
All right, my wife's uncles.
Oh man, so I don't know. You guys weirded out at all about? All this footage. I have no idea how they're going to approach us. Like zero.
Nah.
I don't know.
Nope.
I think they
CGI.
cut their losses and just start over.
I hate to say it. I love it. I'm at the point. You know what?
Back to Howie. I don't know. I don't know.
For me, I'm at the point, and I've said this before in relatively certain terms, where I like to talk about the business strategy of Star Wars, but when it comes to the story strategy, I got nothing. Episode 8 left me with, I got nothing. I got no clue. I don't even want to pretend to predict. I'm not even excited to say, wouldn't it be cool if this? Wouldn't it be cool if that? Because I have nothing.
There's no cliffhangers. There's nothing there to hang on to.
The stuff we were hanging on to, we got slapped with, and I learned quickly. Right?
Yeah.
Episode 8 slapped us with the stuff that we wanted to know. It and told us to cut it out. So and it's not consciously. I just
Cut it out.
quit it. Come on. Little Dave Coulier for you, Mike.
Yeah, nice.
I know, man. I feel
Dave
it.
Coulier.
Anybody got any word?
Mr. Woodchuck. That's a classic.
Great time to move on to the next subject, Mike.
Star Wars Resistance in the news this week.